So for them to do that, at some point, of course, if the partnership between Apple and Foxconn happens on EV, it will be a great success. And many of the people in the industry had talked about EV really is an iPhone on wheels, meaning you actually have a lot more electronics in there and you don't need to worry about the internal combustion engine. You don't have to do your carburetors. So there's a big change, and therefore it's disrupting the traditional automotive market, meaning they will be able to learn and become very successful in terms of scalability and cost. They also make smart investment decisions, such as the acquisition of the Lordstown factory in Ohio, and work with the local partners, including the government and also some of the supply chain. So they will be very good at that and eventually become cost competitive. Well, Foxconn and Tesla had talked in the past, and I think Tesla, much like some of the very successful OEMs in the past, made the right decision to focus internally to build a product so that they can perfect the technology and scale from there. I think at the moment, there is no player in the world has the scale of Tesla in terms of EV and the EV supply chain, but that could change in a few years. So the decision to partner with a Foxconn as an outsourcing partner will have to come at some point. So I think it's still energy system or battery pack, where LG Energy would go will become a very key factor in terms of their supply chain. Where Panasonic will go is the same. And actually, you have seen that with Foxconn, they are also investing in some of these key components and factory systems and packs. When the political situation is stable, when global supply chain and logistics are very predictable, it is actually very much sensible to concentrate your operation in one location and scale to a big scale. But I think in the past 2-3 years, we have seen first with the pandemic and later with all these turmoils into global supply chains, and now with geopolitical tension, having all that changes and uncertainties happening in the world, meaning concentration risk is now very real. But, China will still be the world's factory for years to come. People ask the question, how soon can India maybe supplant or replace some of the iPhone production. So for Apple to look at India is very logical, but to say that Apple or Foxconn would leave China is not sensible at all, because many companies that are successful for many years, they don't want to serve or participate in just one company or one market or one country. They want to be able to participate in multiple economies and countries and markets. Those are very valid points, but eventually China being the giant of Asia and the lowest cost with the largest scalability, when we speak to partners and clients, they basically forego going to other countries, because just being successful in China will allow them to produce in a very low cost manner, and also serving the domestic market. Beginning with the Trump administration, our legislators, our executive branch officials, initially under the Trump administration, now in the Biden administration, recognize that they want to reshore not only some of the jobs back to the US, but some of that operation, the technology and supply chain are very strategic and vital to the security of the company. But you're right, the end effective, you can no longer optimize and scale it to the lowest level, and therefore costs keep on going down and down. And when we look at foreign direct investment coming to the United States to invest, we had accounted for that, and therefore you have to mitigate it with a number of factors, including automation, including maybe higher yield and I think the Korean companies are uniquely capable. They're very smart in terms of making investment. These companies from Korea have actually done very well, initially in Southeast Asia, but mostly in China. I think now have them navigating the political tension is going to be a juggling act. So those are the thinking that's happening right now. It's going to be unfolding in the next 5 to 7 years. I don't think the world has seen maybe the first phase of regionalization and the deglobalization until 2027, 2028, because some of the fabs is going to take some time to build. At the same time, for the world to adjust to a G2 or bifurcation of supply chain, they probably would need a few years to see how they get unfold.